Hello, my name is Calvin Smith, and today I'm going to use the Red Hat Satellite Server to show you how to add a product, a composite content view, and promote that content view from dev to test to prod through the standard software development lifecycle. So before I get started, you can see I'm using Satellite version 6.4, and I have three windows open. One here on IC1, which will be our dev server, IC2, which will be QA, and IC3, which will be prod. I also have my product, good old Hello World. I have two versions of it, Hello World versions 1 and version 2. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is log into the satellite server, and I'm going to create this product that we're going to call Hello World. So we go to create product, and we're going to call it Hello World. Label Hello World. If you add a GPG key or SSL cert to authenticate it, you can put the information in there, as well as a sync plan. If you are downloading content from the internet and you wanted to check those content sources periodically, you would set up a sync plan here. So and you can also add a description if you wanted to. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a repository to this product. We're going to call it Hello Repo, and the label is going to be hello_repo, and we will classify this as a yum repo. There are some settings here that if we wanted to use them for an upstream connection or with username and password, these sort of things that you can adjust those settings here. There's your download policy for how often to download the content, and but we're going to leave all of this default, and so that we can keep going. Okay, so initially I'm gonna not actually add a package as I start this process of creating this content view. So first things first, let's go into content views, and we're gonna create a new content view with the for Hello World. All right. And it's not a composite content view, so we just leave the defaults as is. We're going to add the Hello repo to our content view, and I think that's all we're going to need from here. Now we can create a composite content view now, where we're going to combine the Hello World content view and the rel 7 content view, which was already here, and create a new content view with that. Okay, hold on. I think I needed to actually publish this. So let's publish this Hello World content view. Now we will create the Hello World composite content view. Okay, you see, Hello World content view has been published and promoted to the library. So the library is the location where all content that the satellite server has access to is kept, and from there you can promote content through the various development life cycles, and I'm gonna get to that part in a second. So we've named it the Hello World composite content view. This is a composite content view. We're also going to select auto publish, which means if there's an update to any of those content views, it will automatically update the composite content view. So we're going to save that, and we're going to select the content views that we care about. So there's Hello World and there's rel 7. If you don't want it to automatically update, you can change this from always use latest to a specific version of the content view, so that it doesn't automatically update. the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to publish this content view. And after we do that, there's a couple of other housekeeping things that need to be done. One is, as a product, the product is actually going to have subscriptions associated with it. So here's our Hello World product that we created, and it has subscriptions by default. It's just going to be an unlimited number of entitlements, and of course nobody's using them yet. So let's go in and we're going to attach these subscriptions to a server, to the 3 servers that we're actually going to be working with. So IC 1, 2, and 3. We're going to manage subscriptions, and we're going to add that Hello World subscription. This is important and easy to forget. So you want to make sure that the product is subscription is added. Okay. Now, once you have the subscription added, the next step that I'm going to do here, actually, once you have the subscription added, another place that you might be interested in dealing with the subscription is in the activation keys. The activation keys are used during the provisioning of a system or bootstrapping of a system, so you can automatically have it add the subscriptions when the server is being built. So I'm looking at this RHEL 7. Since we're not provisioning any servers, I'm not going to actually make a change here. But if you say go to RHEL 7, you could hit add, and there's our Hello World subscription. We have 3 of them in use for the 3 servers that we just attached them to. We have an unlimited amount. So if we wanted to provision additional servers that had access to this content, we could add it to this activation key and then attach that activation key to the provisioning host group that will be doing the provisioning. So now let's return to our content promotion. So next up is creating a lifecycle environment. So the lifecycle environment allows you to follow a software development lifecycle for your servers. As I mentioned before, the library has all of the content that the satellite server is aware of as new content streams in from the various repos that Red Hat is providing and other third-party repos are providing. They all go into the library first and then need to be published into upstream life cycles. So some people use the library as their development tier, but for the purposes of our exercise here, we'll create a dev environment, and then a QA environment, and then a production environment. Now, the most important thing is that content flows from left to right. It starts at the library and it'll continue down this lifecycle environment. If you wanted to create additional environment paths, you could, and you can name them something different for different environments that maybe you have a different set of systems that is passing through. Maybe there's a UAT for a particular software development lifecycle or a sandbox or something like that. So you could create multiple, you can create as many as you like. All right, so now that we have our lifecycle created, we have our content views created, let's assign these lifecycles to specific servers. So we're going into the host and content host, and you can see we have the lifecycle environment and the content view associated with it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and take the content view that we created, the Hello World composite content view, and we're going to promote that out through the life cycles that we created. So we have version 1.0. I'm going to promote that to dev. And then we're going to promote it to QA, and then we're going to promote it to production so that we have access to it throughout our environment. Promote it to QA. And then we're going to promote it to production as soon as we can. This also has a function of making this composite content view visible when we're ready to attach it to all of the servers that we're getting ready to attach it to. So let's finish this up here, and now we're going to go back into our content host view, and we're going to take IC1, which is going to be our dev server. We're going to change the lifecycle environment. So we're moving it out of the library into dev, and then the content view that we're going to add it to, it's going to be the Hello World composite content view. We hit assign. And then we do the same thing for QA and for prod. Okay, so we have all three servers appropriately assigned to the correct lifecycle environment and content view. Typically, your servers, you're not going to move them from the lifecycle and content view that they're initially assigned into. If you do actually have to make that move, then the recommendation would be to do a subscription manager refresh to get all of the latest updates from your satellite server, and do a yum clean all and rf var cache yum x8664. Okay, clean out any cruft that might be there. Okay, so if we do a subscription manager identity, you can see now we're in dev hello world. Production QA. All right. So if we do a repo list, we should see there's our default organization hello world repo, as well as rel 7 and our satellite tools. Now, if you recall, we didn't actually put any content in there. So let's go ahead and go back and put some content in there. So we go to products, hello world, go back to the repo. This is a manual repo that we're dealing with here, so we can upload content directly into it. So we're going to upload the hello world RPM. And then we do a yum install hello world. And this will actually not work because even though we've uploaded this content has not been published. So this is something that you'd want to be aware of as you're managing your satellite, that you'd want to periodically publish content that is streaming in from the internet or from your custom repos, so that they can so that it can become available to the systems. So we're gonna go to this Hello World content view and we're gonna publish an updated version. And so this now becomes version 2.0. And once this is done, the Hello World custom content view should automatically get updated as well, since this has been updated. But let's confirm. Okay, so we go to content views, take a look here. See, and now this is at version 2.0 as it's publishing and promoting it into the library. Now we're going to publish it from, once it's finished being promoted to the library, we're going to promote it into the dev environment. So we promote this guy into dev. And I'll point out, while I'm waiting for this to promote, I'll just point out it in the description. It shows what actually triggered the initial publishing of that particular composite content view. So now let's come back here again and see what happens. There's our hello world in our dev environment. If we go to our QA environment, or our production environment, you should see that those RPMs, the hello world is not available. Sorry. Okay, hello world. No hello world in QA, no hello world in prod. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this guy and we're gonna promote him into QA. And then we're gonna go back to our content and we're gonna upload Hello World version 2.0, which has a different message. So we should be able to tell them apart. So we upload Hello World version 2. Okay, so that's been uploaded. We go to our content repositories and update the Hello World content view with the new version. As you might have noticed, we're not actually pushing this. We're gonna publish the new version, and as you notice, we're not actually pushing it out of the library, as the composite content view is the one that's actually being promoted, but it's pulling it directly from the specific version directly from the library. So at this rate, we should have our hello world in our QA environment. Let's take a look. There it is. And this is hello world.sh. Hello world. We're gonna go to our hello world composite content view now. I'm gonna push this guy out into dev. Okay, so now we have it available in dev We have a different version available in QA, and we have the version that has no hello world in production. So if we do a yum, so if we do a yum install in dev, right? Yeah, see, there's our new version. So we're gonna install that guy. We'll see if there's a new version here, and there's no new version here. And in production, there's no hello world package available at all, because we never, the version 1.0 of the hello world repo had no hello world package at all. So let's take a look. So there's our hello world version 2.0. And we paste it over here. There's the original hello world, and there's no hello world at all here in production. Okay, so thank you. I hope this was informative for you. And if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe this channel. I'll be periodically uploading content around these from time to time here. So thank you, and have a nice day.